In this video, I want to talk about 10 reasons not to start a YouTube channel, why it's not the right time and why it's not for you. And before anybody gets upset or clicks off this video or clicks dislike or whatever, I want to explain what I mean by this. So these are 10 reasons that either you told yourself in an internal monologue or other people told you were valid reasons not to start on YouTube. And so the purpose of this video really is going to be to kind of go through these and debunk them, because my assumption is if you clicked on this video, you probably are interested in starting YouTube. You've probably considered it, but you probably had your own doubts or other people told you it wasn't possible. So I want to go through these and explain to you why I think it is possible and why I think that you have the potential to make a full-time career on YouTube, or at least a full-time hobby on YouTube, which may be the most rewarding decision of your life. Number one, it's too late to start on YouTube. And this is false for a few reasons, but I hear a lot of people saying, Mike, there's so many creators out there more than ever that have millions of subscribers. How can I compete with that? That's not possible. And the truth is, that's not actually the reason. Like, I'll talk about that later on in this video, why it's very possible to compete with that. But the first reason that this is false is because you have more viewers than ever on YouTube. And these people are using YouTube more than they ever have before. It's starting to replace television. If you look at the statistics, it's more, people are spending more time on YouTube and less time on television. And so as there's that kind of transfer away from traditional cable television, people are looking for more stuff to watch. And because there are more people, if you have a really specific niche topic that you want to talk about, it's very likely you can find lots of people interested and you can rank very well in that. But even if you want mainstream stuff, there's so many people watching that you will inevitably gain a lot of views. Now, the second reason that this is false is because the YouTube algorithm is not what it used to be. So the new algorithm, it continuously evolves, but as of a couple years ago, it stops promoting based on how many views you get. So no longer is it that, if you have subscribers, then you put it out, you get a lot of views, that gets you more subscribers, that gets you more views, that gets you more subscribers, and you get that snowball effect that's impossible to catch up to. Now, that's the way it used to be. Now, the algorithm looks at a little bit more than that. So they care a lot more about your watch time, your engagement, your click-through rate, and a lot of other variables that allow you to, even as a new creator with no subscribers, you have potential to rank among the top creators out there. And yes, there is an advantage if you have a large subscriber base, but that's not everything. And on top of that, you also have the ability to rank higher because Google promotes fresh content. So the fresher the content is, the more likely you'll rank higher, which is why things like newsjacking could be a great way for you to hop right in there among the top rankings and do really well in 2020. Number two is that you have nothing interesting to talk about. And relating this back to what I said in the beginning, this is false because if you have anything that's really specific, like a really narrow niche that you're very interested in and you think nobody else cares about this, nobody's going to be interested. Well, the truth is, if you have millions of people on YouTube, odds are there are other people out there that are interested in what you're doing. And if it's so specific that nobody else likes it, they might be very excited to find your channel and they might be very engaged and they might be very dedicated fans and subscribers. And there was an article written a little while ago called 1,000 True Fans. And the premise of this article is that if you have 1,000 people that are truly interested in what you do and they're willing to buy your stuff and engage with you, and if you're able to sell them $30 or $50 worth of whatever, courses, merchandise, whatever you're doing in a year, if you can make $50 off of each of them or just get donations, then you now have $50,000 a year, which is a full-time income just from 1,000 true fans. So by being able to do this, YouTube is a very incredible platform, and the internet as a whole really opens doors for a lot of very specific niches, like, if you're doing some kind of specific woodworking and it's very detailed and nobody else even knows about it. Maybe 1,000 people do. Number three is you are not good on camera. And honestly, if you've watched this video this long, then you probably don't think my camera skills are appalling, although maybe they're not the best out on the internet. Let me tell you a little story here. So I actually went to college for engineering and physics, and both of those are just about the nerdiest things you could possibly talk about. And so with that, our engineers are usually very quirky people. I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. I'm definitely very introverted, and I would be nowhere near the category of good on camera back then. But once I started on YouTube, all you do is you turn on the camera, you start talking, and when you're editing the video, you realize, you say, well, maybe I said too much, maybe my voice inflections are weird, maybe I was too quiet, I didn't talk right, and you start to kind of evolve and get more comfortable and get better at it, and as you go through your YouTube career, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and I think I've come a long way in becoming more comfortable in speaking on camera. And on top of that, if this is not reason enough to start on YouTube, at the very least, filming yourself like this could be a great way to improve your public speaking skills, which helps in any aspect of life. As Warren Buffett says, the #1 skill that he recommends anybody practice is public speaking. And this is a great way to do that. And so if you're not good on camera, maybe you should start being on camera. That's all the more reason to start a channel to get better at being on camera and get better at talking to people when there's no pressure. You know, if I screw up, I can cut this out and I can film it again. #4 then is that you do not have the right equipment, which again, guys, I say this in all of my videos really, you don't need great equipment. This microphone right here, do you know how much this cost? This was $20 on Amazon. So a $20 microphone, a smartphone, and that's all you need to get started, and you can make great content. People don't even need a microphone. You could just film with only a smartphone and you can make great content, and you don't have to worry about buying a great expensive camera or understanding settings for cameras. And as you grow your channel, you can invest in that later once you gain a following, because ultimately, if you look at like photography example, right? Like what do they say about that? I think they say subject, lighting, lens, body. It's like the order of what things are important. So the same thing goes for video. The most important thing is always the subject or the content. What you're talking about is the #1 most important thing for your video. Now, the #2 most important is the audio quality and the lighting, but lighting, you can just use a window. Audio, use a $20 microphone. And the lens and the body, like a smartphone, does just fine. #5 then, if you do actually film it, you might say, I don't know how to edit. I don't have software to edit. I'm not Sam Kolder. I'm not Casey Neistat. I can't make these great creations. Honestly, you don't really need to do that. When you're starting off, you can make, tons of different topics require almost no editing at all. So a video like this, do you think I needed to be Sam Kolder to edit this? No, this was really easy. Other things that are a little bit more complicated, like maybe a travel vlog, sometimes it's really nice to see a very amateur video that's not a big production to show you what it's actually like to be there. So rather than making it this kind of falsehood around there that it's a magical place with great edits and really awesome cinematic transitions, sometimes YouTube really promotes things that are just authentic. So don't worry about editing. And if you do want to edit, obviously everyone's going to get better at editing over time. There are free ones you can start with, and eventually you can upgrade and pay for like Premiere Pro or Final Cut or whatever you want to do. #6 then is the Adpocalypse. Now, this is a little while ago, so you might not know about this anymore if you're starting today, but way back in the day, YouTube, you could just make money on it right away. You could just start off, put a video out, and the next day, you made 7 or 10 cents or something, right? And so you'd keep growing and making more money. Now there's a threshold, kind of a higher barrier for entry. You need 1,000 subscribers and 240,000 minutes watched to be considered for monetization, which means getting ads and getting money for your videos. But, that's completely, a lot of people can reach that. You can reach that goal. I've had a couple channels that reach that within just a couple months. Other channels may a year or 2 years. Like, it doesn't matter. There are other ways to monetize in the meantime until you reach that threshold. And the other ways you can monetize include things like Amazon Associates, which you need 100 subscribers for. You can also do things like have actually paid promotions if you know local stores that would advertise on your channel, or other ways you can sell your own merchandise and make money. So making money should not be the primary goal, but it's a great way to, be able to afford to upgrade your equipment and just increase the quality of your productions. And over time, you can make money. We talk about that a lot on this channel. So if you want to learn more about how to make money with your marketing, which essentially is what you're doing with videos, consider going down and clicking the subscribe button on this video. #7 is the one that I absolutely hate the most, and this is not having time. People say, Mike, I would love to make a channel, but I just don't have time. And let me tell you something. So I have a full-time job. I work 40 hours a week as an engineer. Then I also work out every day, and I'm in a long-distance relationship, so I'm visiting my girlfriend all the time. I have friends, I hang out with friends, and somehow in all of that, I'm still able to make 5 videos per week between my different channels. So if you're telling me that you don't have time to make 1 video every other week, then I think that the problem is not your time, the problem is your priorities, because everybody's given 24 hours every day, and it's just a matter of how you divide that up. So I ask people all the time, when was the last time you watched Netflix or watched the news or scrolled through the internet for something or just went on YouTube and watched random videos? And the answer is almost definitely either today or yesterday. And so all of those times are times that you rated those as more important than making a YouTube video and starting your business. So for all of those, I think that it's definitely a priority problem. And for me personally, I don't watch the news. I don't go on the internet and scroll through the news. I don't care about that. And a lot of people say, but Mike, you have to know what's going on in the world. And yes, it can be good to know about what the current events are, but you don't have to spend hours a day like watching this and learning about it. You can spend 5 minutes, get a quick recap, and then spend the rest of your day on something more productive. Because ultimately, what has a bigger impact on your life? Learning about what happened in Texas and, who robbed what store and who went to jail, or starting a business that can change your life? For me, I think it's a no-brainer. I'll be starting a business every day. Number 8 kind of ties into number 7, and that is, yeah, I'll start one, but not today. I'll start it next week, next month, next year, when I'm retired, when I get out of school, when I have Christmas break. And all of these are, again, excuses and reasons not to start today. I think people say that, they think they don't have time now, but ultimately, if you shift things around and just start making content now, I think you'll be very glad you did later, because ultimately, a lot of people find that they have the most time they ever will now. And as time goes on, you start to get more responsibilities and more commitments. And so starting things, just starting them now, even if you just stay up late, cut your sleep out a little bit, and just try to get something done, I think you'll be very happy that you did. Number 9 is having a boring set. And I think this is a stupid excuse, guys. I have a gray sheet behind me, like just a gray background. This is extremely boring. I've had other sets where I'm in my bedroom, I've been in a living room, I've been in a classroom. I started off in a classroom when I was in college. So it doesn't matter where you are, your set's not that important. It can add a lot to have a good set, but starting off, it really doesn't matter if you have a bad set. Number 10 is that people will laugh at you. It's not cool, people don't like it. And this is something that, again, Nate talked about in a recent video about, this is something that every YouTuber has faced. You start a channel and people say, oh, you started a channel, that's funny, because they can't picture themselves doing it. And maybe you'll walk into a room with your friends and they'll have your face on the TV, right? And so things like that they think are funny at first, but as you start to grow, you make money, you start being more successful, then they stop doing that and they start asking you how they can start their own channel. They start telling people how they met you, and it just becomes, it escalates a lot and people stop laughing at you. So it's a short period. You just kind of have to power through and understand that, you can hide your channel. That's a good way to do that, and just not tell your friends that you have one. But otherwise, I don't know, people get over it pretty quickly. So ultimately, those are the excuses that I hear most commonly with why people are not starting a YouTube channel. If you are considering starting and these were holding you back, hopefully this video helped you to get past that roadblock and start your channel today. Of course, starting a channel is definitely not for everybody. There could be people that, you start a channel and maybe they don't like it. Maybe they just don't like making videos. They don't like editing. Maybe they just don't like being out there kind of publicly. But for the most part, I very much enjoy it. And if you think that you might, it's definitely worth at least trying. If for no other reason, then it would be great for having like memories. If you're doing like if you're traveling and you want a travel channel, just record stuff and put it on YouTube. It's a great way to save family videos. So that's what I think. That's my opinion on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.